Hello, Capricorns. This is Adrian Igo, Capricorntigress of Astrology. A look inside, and I'm going to back up. I'm always so close to the camera. And I wanted to come and give an addendum, just an overview again of the month of December 2018 for Caps. And the reason I wanted to do that is because, well, in the first video, there's this weird humming music or something. I must have had a video or something on in the background, and it sort of droned out a lot of what I was saying. And plus, I feel like I myself am changing, and so I have a feeling that you Caps have probably changed even in the week since I've made, you know, that last video, I think a week or two ago. So I'm going to go ahead and just go through just this chart. You know, I always do the little chart. I'm going to go through that one more time and see if I get any other vibes, because with me being a Capricorn with Capricorn rising and going through so much right now, I know that many of you Caps must be going through so much right now, okay? For many of us, especially those who have Capricorn rising, we are experiencing something that's very unique, okay? It doesn't happen to everyone. Some might say we're cursed, and some might say we're lucky. And what I'm referring to, well, there's actually two things. Well, we've got Pluto. Pluto is in the sign of Capricorn. It's in our solar first house. It's, you know, our rising, and it is exactly on my ascendant right now. Pluto is devastating, okay? Pluto can come in and wipe away every plan, every dream, every hope, every desire that you ever had, and wash it away as though it never existed. You may find that you are on the ground in tears sometime during Pluto's transit through the first house of Capricorn. For me, I was feeling suicidal. It was horrible. It was, you know, when they talk about rock bottom, I'm sure I was there, okay? And I'm sure many of you other Caps feel like you're there, or you feel that it might be coming. It could be coming. You must prepare yourself for this. This is not something uncommon. It's very common for Pluto to come into the first house area, even from the 12th, and start just realigning things, wrecking things, destroying them, tearing them down. All false structures are going to go. And this is being supported by Saturn. Saturn is now and also in Capricorn, and that is also in our solar first house. And so any false structure is going to be knocked down. If you haven't been doing it right, Saturn's going to tell you. I got a list of things to do that's looking like a telephone book already. I realize how badly I let things slip. And Saturn's going to remind us of that, where you let things slip. And it is going to help to heal those things. Now, in the first video, I mentioned this, but I want to kind of preface it again, because it's weird how Pluto and Saturn work, right? We may not want what Pluto and Saturn have for us. We may not want what Pluto has in particular. But we have no choice. We are either going to go with the flow of where it is taking us, or, you know, kicking and screaming, or we're not going to go. It'll take us out. You know, both of these planets will take you out. I know that sounds horrible, but it's like, if you're not doing it right, Saturn will get you. It's the great taskmaster, right? And if you're on the wrong path and it's a false structure, Pluto will take you out and rebuild you, or try. I mean, you're going to have to do the Phoenix rising from the ashes thing again. I've done that, okay? I've done it several times already with this Pluto transit. I'm sure I'm probably going to have to do it again. Pluto is no joke, okay? If you thought having Pluto in the first house was going to be a joke, it's not a joke. Saturn in the first house is not a joke. I almost feel sorry for people who have to be around me. Because right now, My mind is so, wow, structure oriented, goal oriented. I I wake up and I come out and I try to get right to work, whatever it is I need to do. Get my makeup on, put on my little armor, and do what I have to do. And you Caps are going to find that this is the way life is going to be. You're building that structure, even if it's within yourself, your physical body. And that is something I know I didn't do well. And Saturn came along and just said, nope, you are going to do what I want you to do. You are, and Pluto too, because Pluto is in my first house on my ascendant. And it's almost like Pluto said, I had started gaining, okay, I'm going to go back for a second. I feel like my story is such a Pluto story and such a Saturn story. So many of you may not know this, but I used to be 500 pounds and I was in a wheelchair. And I was in a wheelchair for 7 years. I was over 500 pounds. And it's a long story, but I figured out a way to get a little bit better. And as I was getting better, I found out I could stand. And from standing, I decided I could dance. And from dancing, I ended up creating something called Dance and Slim Down, which was a website. And I'm rebuilding that website right now. But I lost 300 pounds. And so I started rebuilding my life. I got married. I met new friends. I started changing my image. And, now I'm an astrologer. And I've got my business license. Been showing off my business license. So proud of my business license. Anyway. Doing all the Capricornian things, right? I'm building the structure. I've got the little businesses going. I thought I was building a foundation with a man, but I don't think that, I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, this is what happens when Saturn is on the first house and Pluto is there rebuilding. It's said that most likely a year from now, many Capricorns will not know themselves. We are becoming so vastly different than we were. A lot of it is through pain, and I really need you guys to be aware of that, okay? It could be that, like in my case, my husband left me, or it could be that you were in a serious accident, or you have to have a major surgery, or you found out you have an incurable disease, or your house was broken into, or I mean, I'm just thinking of all the massive amounts of craziness that happens when Pluto is in the first house. It is teaching us how to be strong, and so is Saturn. We've got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with Pluto there. I would say by the time it's done with us, we're going to be some of the strongest people out there. I mean, we're either going to survive it or we won't. We'll either be polished from coal to diamond, or we won't. We'll be crushed under the weight of the expectation. But we have to rise to the challenges. And we have to do our best to become that strong, powerful authority that Saturn and Pluto in the first house demands. If we take on our responsibilities, and if we, I guess just embrace all of the harshness and the hard work and the long hours and tears and whatever comes with having Saturn and Pluto in the first house, we're going to come out of it so much stronger. Oh my gosh. I feel like Saturn and Pluto in the first house is creating the unshakable, unbreakable foundation. The unshakable, unbreakable foundation. Some might say with Pluto in the first house, and even with Saturn, we are going from our cocoon stage of going into our butterfly stage after it comes out. But while we're in this right now, it can get kind of heavy and it can get kind of dark. And it's really important that you know that, okay? So whatever's happening this month, be aware of that. And I wanted to preface what's going on with our first house by really digging into what's happening in our 12th house. This month, December, is a month where there's going to be a great deal of emphasis in our subconscious minds and the deep hidden resources, those deep corners that we keep tucked away in our soul, in our hearts, and in our fears, in our nightmares, in our dreams. We might find that we are dreaming more, thinking more subconsciously, writing more, having more aha moments, or, just things like, oh, I have to write this down. Definitely, I would keep a recorder around or journal. Write down all these little hidden ideas and thoughts that you're getting from that Sag in that 12th house there, because Mercury's going to be there, and Jupiter is there, and the Sun is there, and it is just one of these months where we're really going to be behind the scenes, thinking, plotting, dreaming, hoping. We're going to be doing that. And Venus is in the 11th house of hopes, dreams, and wishes. So we may be able to make some of our hopes, dreams, and wishes come true if we plan them and if we write them down. And if not this month, then on the 21st, when the Sun moves from the 12th house of Sagittarius into our first house of Capricorn. And when that comes after the 21st, we're going into our power. Talk about having power with Pluto in the first house and Saturn in the first house. The Sun's going to be there. We're really about to rise to power. And it's time for us to embrace that. Use this month of December with those planets in our 12th house to dream and prepare and to plan and to plot and to do all those things that us Caps love to do when we're sitting alone in the 12th house and, looking forward to when we rise again. And we will rise again because Pluto is in the first house. We are the phoenix rising from the ashes. We are that chosen one. It is our time to grasp the power that is in front of us. Let's not be afraid to grasp that power, because I know it exists for many of us, and I feel that it exists for me. So I get so excited when I think about what we've got in front of us and ahead of us, if we grasp it and if we're aware of it and if we embrace it. The other thing I want to touch upon is that there is the North Node now in our solar 7th house of Cancer. And the North Node in Cancer is amazing because I'm very dry. Just bear with me, guys. It is winter time and it's dry here. Oh, and by the way, happy Thanksgiving. I'm doing this. It's just about 40 minutes from Thanksgiving in America. So I just wanted to do that. Anyway, the North Node is in Cancer. I believe it's still at 29 or 28 degrees. I had my husband leave me when it hit 29 degrees in Cancer. So let us not minimize the importance of that first 7th house axis. There's something to be said for this 7th house experience right now. Now, it might have affected me deeply because I do have my North Node at 29 degrees Cancer by birth. It just so happens to be there. But many of you Capricorns are going to start feeling this, probably in the area of relationships or partnerships or whoever, marriages, because that's where this North Node is. And it's a lesson that we have to learn there. The North Node, wherever it is the lesson we're here to learn. And I know for me in my marriage, I learned a couple of things. Okay. First of all, I had went back and found some old messages to my husband when we argued previously. And I realized that what I have abandonment issues, truly bad abandonment issues. But what I wrote to him, November 17th, 2017, was exactly what he did October 26th, 2018. Exactly. So I looked at that and I thought, okay, either I drove him to it or chased him away. But even if I did, why did it happen exactly that way? That was not an accusation. That was a premonition. And so I'm coming into the realization of my psychic ability. You guys may come into some other realizations about things like that. A lot of this might be indicated because we've got Mars right now and Neptune. Neptune is on the 3rd house of communication. So we might be picking up some weird things. And don't forget, we've got Jupiter and Mercury and the Sun in the 12th house, which really highlights that psychic experience. And Venus is in Scorpio. Okay, so that's kind of one of those things. But on top of that, Uranus is in our solar 4th house in Aries. And that does indicate that there could be some strange or unique or sudden out of the blue things happening with the home and family life, or with your comfort, but your home in particular. On the 31st, Mars is going to move from Pisces into that 4th house with Uranus. So, you know, it's going into Aries in that area of the home and family. Mars going into that area just signifies to me a little bit of aggression might come from that area. Well, you guys, other than, like I said, beware of that North Node is now in the 7th house, so your partnerships could be affected. The North Node is, you know, nurturing, comfort. I always feel like the mother. Think about how a mother makes you feel. They comfort you, right? That feeling you have when you love your mother or you love your children. Cancer is known as the mother. And so it's the mothering. In the case of the 7th house, I think what we need to do is mother our partnerships. Be more nurturing and mothering and caring to our partners. They need us. Maybe we've been putting so much emphasis on that Pluto and that Saturn, all that power and work in the 1st house and being so strong, that we forgot that our little partner needs to be nurtured and cared for too. So we need to take this time, and the North Node is in Cancer in that 7th house to teach us this lesson. It's here to teach us that we need to nurture our partner and love our partner. I don't want to say mother our partner, but definitely show love and compassion and empathy toward our partner, even if our partner is not showing it toward us. We can be the bigger man or woman and show what we have to give from our hearts and show emotion, because Cancer rules emotion. It's time to live from our hearts and to give from our hearts to our partners and not just to ourselves. So I think that was my message to share for someone, definitely for myself. And I'm thinking that probably for some other people out there needed to hear that. Anyway, on the 21st, it'll be our time in December. So happy Capricorn time to all of you Caps, and happy holidays, and Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, what is the other one, Happy Kwanzaa, all of that, okay? Much love and much light to you all. Namaste.